George Foreman, kind enough to call into the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, George?
Doing great, thank you.
What an honor to have you here. I give you the floor on your thoughts on the passing of your friend and colleague, Muhammad Ali, George.
Such an emptiness, and you realize by the day, by the hour, what an emptiness it is. I was stopped at the airport today into Pittsburgh, and a group of guys, these autograph hounds, generally I'll sign one or two and say, I'm not signing that, and get away. But this time, I just sat and signed. It's like therapy I really needed because it was Muhammad Ali who really enjoyed signing every autograph he could. And all of a sudden I realized there's no reason not to sign anymore. Isn't that odd? An emptiness. And that I needed, I didn't know how much I needed him around until now he's no longer around.
What was it like getting in the ring with him in Zaire, knowing that so many of the people that were there, if not all of them, wanted to see your loss that night, George? What was that like for you?
Well, I didn't see it like that. There in Africa, there was a George Foreman brigade as well.
Okay.
I mean, everybody was trying to win some money on that fight, betting and everything. Of course, this great Muhammad Ali was a sentimental favorite wherever he went because he was such a beautiful guy. Though he was a fighter, he just come off as a happy kid. He was good-looking and fun-loving, and how could you pull against him? But anyway, his power, his right hand, left hand, that wasn't about Muhammad Ali. It was his presence. To get in the ring with him, I'd not been in the ring with a guy like that before or since, ever. He had a presence about him that was more than just a boxer.
And what was that presence from your point of view, George?
You beat him and beat him and beat him, and you realize there's something else going on here. And I couldn't put my hand on it, but he wasn't really a show-off celebrity. He was something special. He's always been something special. And I was, as you hit on a guy and hit on a guy, you realize, sure, you can beat him, but that's not what he's all about. And a lot of us were even bothered because once you become heavyweight champ of the world, Frazier, me, and a few others, you think you're going to become Muhammad Ali. But there was only one Muhammad Ali, and you realize that once you fought him, he just wasn't a fighter.
George,
a boxer.
Yeah.
He was something else.
And he was somebody that that represented more than just the athletics. And I'm wondering how that, how you took all that in, the out-of-the-ring behavior and also his stances, and how that may have played into your thinking.
Well, when you get in the ring, you don't look at any of that. You don't care about any of those things.
Sure.
That doesn't exist. You're in the ring with gloves on. You're trying to get a knockout. And I had so many knockouts, I thought I'd get another. And for a lot of people saying what Muhammad Ali represented, I've been to the four corners of the earth where people didn't even speak English. Sweden and China, Japan, Africa. They'd all whisper, Ali, Ali. This man was something to everyone. Nobody can say he represented this or he represented that. He represented every little boy and every little girl in the world.
And what do you think will last decades from now, George, about Muhammad Ali?
I think in the years to come, we won't have another Muhammad Ali. You can forget that trying to be an athlete. He just was, by coincidence, a boxer by profession, but he was a little bit more than that. And we'll remember him every time some little kid says, I'm not going to take that, or I'm not going to do that. People will say for 100 years, oh, that's another Muhammad Ali.
And when
anyone who stands up for themselves. And believe me, I was a big, powerful giant in the ring with Muhammad. I mean, a knockout artist. He stood up to me. I haven't gotten over that yet. I had the nerve. You have the nerve to stand up to me.
Well, everybody thought you were going to kill him, George. Like literally,
yeah, but I mean, he stood up to me. He just looked. I looked him in the eye to stare him down, and he looked me back with a little sheepish, childish face and said, "Oh, George, you were in school when I was beating Sonny Liston. You don't belong in the ring with me."
He said that?
Oh, I almost laughed at him. I said, "Are you crazy? We're getting ready to fight."
That's what he said to you?
He really did. We never had a press conference together. We never sat down. He never taunted me. We never had any incident. People say, "Oh, you were angry with him." I didn't have any conversation with him until that fight, and that first, just before the pre-fight instructions. That's the only time he said something to me. I said, "Is he crazy?"
No kidding. I would have thought for sure that you would have had some form of interaction prior to the Rumble in the jungle.
I met him as a few times walking down the street, but once the fight was announced, there was nothing else to be said. I mean, we made the fight by way of a telephone conversation. I told him, I said, "You really want to fight?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You sure?" He said, "George, I promise you, I'll promote it. I'll promote it." The next day, he's on television saying, "He's the Frankenstein monster." I said, "What?" But he never said that until we signed the fight. I mean, he started promoting it.
So you didn't know he was going to promote it in that manner, huh, George?
It didn't really matter. I wish he was here today and say the same thing, Frankenstein monster, because he was only saying it because it was true.
And just in closing, George, I just find it fascinating how you thought about Muhammad Ali as a people's champ and wanted to touch everybody and sign everything for everybody, and how that's left an impression upon you even in his passing. George.
It really did. All of a sudden, I felt I had to surrender today. You surrender, man. The guy really was the people's choice. And he was the people's choice because he loved them.
Are you making your way to his memorial, to his funeral?
I will not be able to. I'm in Pittsburgh now. I had prior commitments. I won't make the service, but my heart will be there.
George, we appreciate you calling in and giving us a couple of minutes here on the show. Thank you so much for calling.
All right. Goodbye.
You bet. I'm a big fan. It's George Foreman here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.